This is how I work 8, 9, or even 10 hours as a young Muslim aspiring entrepreneur who actually is actively trying to build businesses and success. But also, I want to follow the deen at the same time, so that I'm actively trying to do that as well. And although it seems like a very hard task, because in one side, you see the people who are very successful. You see the Muslims that are crazy successful and they have a lot of money, but at the same time, they're like kind of Muslim by name. Like they're so fixated on dunya, and like they're Muslim, but like they don't pray, or they don't, they're not really on deen. I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm not trying to make takfir or anyone. I'm just saying we see this one extreme, and the other extreme is you see the Muslims that are super on deen. They're they go to the masjid every day, mashallah, but they're not really that successful. And we want to be the balance of both. We want to be someone who's successful. We want to be someone who is also trying to be on deen and trying to get as close to Allah as possible. And we want to use the wealth and success for the goodness of this ummah. And there are many Sahaba that did that. There are many Sahaba that spent thousands of whatever their currency was on masajids and the earliness of Islam. And we want to become and we want to stay that exact same. I remember I was watching the Ustad Imran ibn Mansur, or our Dawah man, and he said the key to maintaining your deen is by learning knowledge and seeking knowledge, because this is what motivates us to becoming better Muslims and to learn more about Allah and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the other Sahaba, the Anbiya, etc. And that's what we need to focus on. And alhamdulillah, I was able to crack it. I was able to crack this code to not only working 8 hours a day plus like sometimes 9-10 hours, but also having the time to learn my Islamic knowledge and other knowledge at the same time. And I was watching a bunch of YouTubers like Iman Gaji, Andrew Tate, etc. And like they used to work like 12 hours a day. And a lot of people, they make fun of that, like, well, why are you working 12 hours? Like, what? That's stupid. Like, I don't want to work 12 hours. I want to work 3 hours. I want to have fun, etc. But a part of me liked the idea of being super, super busy. Like, a part of me found it like purposeful and like gave me that sense of testosterone, masculine boost where like, I want to be busy. I want to work 12 hours a day. I want to be building big businesses. I want to be providing for my family and etc. And I like that feeling. And I wanted to be that busy person, the busy businessman that, I looked up to. And so I remember I bought Andy Tate's course and I was trying to become this businessman, and this is my first shot at business really. It didn't go that well, but the thing was, like, I got introduced to the work and I tried to send my first outreach, but then I would have a video playing in the background and then like a podcast playing right after, and then I would eat like a bunch of food and then I would be too tired to work. And this was my work rate for 3 to 4 months. I really couldn't work. And yeah, and the moral of my story of telling you this is that I know how it feels to waste time. I know how it feels to go days and months without doing any work and then having that feeling of resentment, like, what am I doing with my life? And what am I doing with my time that Allah gave me? And I know how it feels because I've been in the situation, and you probably are watching this because you're in that situation right now where you don't want to waste time. You want to build success. You want to provide for your family as Muslim men. You want to build success in order to have a beautiful Muslim wife that you can take care of. And this is not for me just to say the cliche things. This is what we actually want. We want to feel responsibility. We want to feel masculine, but we can't because of the work that we do, because we're not doing any work and we're not achieving anything. We feel sad, we feel depressed because of it. As Muslims, we need to have the sense of responsibility and focus for our families and our future wives and our future children, or even if you are someone who has a wife and children, you need to take care of them. Right? You need to take care of them. This is our role as men. And now, of course, everything is given by Allah. The risk is already written, but we need to work hard to achieve it. And this is why I want your full attention, Akhi. I want your full attention because I'm going to be giving you the steps, the fundamental steps on how you can work 8+ hours a day, pretty much beat procrastination, so you can achieve the success and the risk that Allah has written out for you. This will be a full guide, a full step. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Now, there's a known saying, which is, an idle's mind is a devil's workshop. And it's very, very true. One of the biggest reasons you're not actually doing the work and you're procrastinating is because you don't actually know the right type of work you need to be doing and the important work you need to be doing in your business. So before I even tell you and give you the fundamental steps to beating procrastination and to be working 8 hours a day, plus trying to learn deen and earn at the same time and be on deen, I need to first tell you and ask you, like, you have to first understand what you're trying to do. I'm sure you've noticed it, but we procrastinate on the actual work we're supposed to be doing because they seem harder and they seem longer tasks, etc. And we know this. We always procrastinate on the hardest task, on the task that we actually need to do. What you need to be doing is actually taking out like a piece of paper or open a Google Docs and please do what I'm saying here and type up, what business am I trying to start? And if you're someone who already thought of a business idea and has a business model, what specific work tasks will get me the most results for this business, okay, or for the work. Even if you're a career person, that's fine. You want to be the best at your career field. So you want to type of what am I actually supposed to be doing every day that will drive the biggest results for that business model or for that job. And if you're someone who works a career, it might be easier because you're already given the work. Prioritize your task and what you need to actually do. If you're trying to start a YouTube channel or something, which is completely viable and it's you should be doing something if you're open to that, I can tell you the most important tasks are recording videos, editing videos, creating engaging thumbnails, learning storytelling, etc. It's a little hard, but it's something that you need to be doing. And you have to actively study your audience and give them the value that they need so they can like you. It's not just about changing your profile picture or changing your YouTube banner every few weeks. That's not how it works. So once you figured out what you need to be doing, I'm going to be honest with you. This is where the video gets a little bit deep, right? This is where it gets to that standard and that value. This is where I can provide you the value that I promised you in this video. And this is bigger than just trying to work 8 hours. Okay, this is way bigger than trying to work 8 hours, because a lot of you have probably already tried to work 8, 9, 10 hours or a little bit less, but you're trying to work, but you can't because you're procrastinating. And if you're someone who's already incapable of doing the work and working long hours, no matter how much you try, you're not going to be able to hit it. You're not going to be able to work 8, 9, 10 hours because you're someone who's incapable of working. So right now, you're at the point in this video is where you want to work, right? You want to work long hours, okay? And you're past this dopamine videos of the best productivity hacks. Those videos people make just to get views, okay? You're past that. You're watching videos like this where I'm actually actively trying to give you value and actively trying to help you. And honestly, I want Muslims to be strong again. I'll be honest, and this is not something like me trying to sell you something. I want Muslims to be strong again. I want us to be working all the time so we can build the best of this empire. We can be the best of this world. We can have the biggest empire. We can have the biggest, we can conquer and spread peace amongst everyone like the Sahaba did back in the day, like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did back in the day. So if you're someone who still ends up procrastinating and giving up on his work and has having trouble with working long hours and working on the right things, I believe you need to define what you're doing every single day. And what is stopping you from achieving success? What are the things, tangible things that are stopping you from having a successful, work day? Write them down as well. And this is, an active task. We know the learning is done by actually actively partaking in whatever you've learned. So the knowledge I'm giving you, you have to actually write that down and learn from it. And this is how learning works. So in order for me to start off, we have to understand that we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of energy when you wake up, and we all have the same amount of time every single day. Everyone has 24 hours or in a day. So if you're not actively doing work and using that 24 hours into work, then you're only going to be using it in something else, right? The time is not just going to stop, or it's not going to it's not going to stop. It's only going to be channeling into something else. So if you're not doing work, you're only using that time into something else. So you have to really look at your life, write down every single distraction that is not work. And Salah in Quran, that is not a distraction. That is something that's more important than work. So don't write that down. I'm talking about write down the distractions that is not work. Okay? Whatever that is, write that down. Now hear me out, because I want you to cross out each of these distractions. Meaning, from now on, I want you to not do these distractions. So cross every one of them out. And a lot of you are going to be like, I don't want to do this. I want this I want to play a bit of games every night. I want to do this every night. But you don't understand, because I want you to cross them out, because you legitimately cannot do this if you want to build success and if you want to work. And I'll give you a reason, because this is the part where you're going to be changing your life, inshallah, by the will of Allah. Because I'm going to be giving you a blueprint, okay? I'm going to be giving you a blueprint on the type of person you actually need to be to work 8 hours a day. And this is exactly how I beat procrastination in order to work 8+ hours a day, focused as possible. Sometimes I might not be as focused, but also I'm also trying to be on deen as well, right? So I'm going to be giving you a blueprint, and that blueprint consists of you literally not engaging in these bad habits. You can't engage in these bad habits at all. Okay? So things like scrolling, things like video games, things like Instagram, TikTok. If you're not using Instagram or TikTok or any social media for work, why are you on them? Because you're not the best version of yourself. So even if you're trying to attract a wife in the future, you are not the best version of yourself. And in order for you to become the best version of yourself, you need to cut these things out. So if you're not the best version of yourself, why are you trying to attract a wife? Like what kind of quality wife's gonna want you, right? And this is the truth. So cross out all of these social media platforms because they are taking your time and energy, and you need to be putting your time and energy into work so you can grow and get success. And hopefully this is all coming into fruition. Hopefully this is all making sense. So I'm gonna be giving you the blueprint of a person who actually works all day or works 8 hours a day and is successful and is healthy, and someone's hardworking. I'll give you the blueprint for it. And all you need to do is look at your life right now, cut out the distraction, and just make your lifestyle this blueprint. Okay, so this is a lot easier than other people telling you to just like stop bad habits, because it's not as easy as just stopping bad habits, because you need to actually completely change and transform your life. Okay, so the first thing is, so a person who works 8+ hours a day has little to none stimulation in his life, meaning they're not like little kids trying to like stop like scrolling, like who's struggling with scrolling, I can't stop scrolling. Or they're not like, people who are like still trying to stop like haram videos or something like that, or like trying to stop video games. Like they're not like little kids like 15-year-olds or 16-year-olds who are just finding out about self-improvement. Rather, a person who can work 8 hours a day doesn't really have cheap dopamine in his life, and he's not hyperstimulated. And you probably know what that is, right? A hyperstimulation is basically when your brain is so stimulated to the fact that whenever you try to do work, and this is something that you might be noticing, is that whenever you try to do work, it's not the work is not stimulating enough for your brain. So you stop the work, you give up, and you do something else instead. And this is something you're doing, because if you're procrastinating on work, that means that the work is not stimulating enough for your brain, meaning you're probably hyperstimulated, and you need to stop that. A person who can work all day has little to none stimulation, meaning like even if he's stimulating himself, it's not as high. It's not like crazy high like something you would get with like playing video games or watching P or other things like that, right? So you need to be someone who can actually have little to none stimulation. And of course, we're all gonna have our stimulations. Just make sure it's not haram, and make sure it's like, very low. Okay, a person who can work all day has a very disciplined routine. Someone who like to work so he can actually achieve success. He delays his gratification. Okay, so in the morning he doesn't eat his croissant and his cereal, because that's gonna affect his dopamine, and it's also going to affect his focus, and it's also gonna give him brain fog. So he knows that he's not gonna want this, because it's gonna affect his work, and he wants to prioritize Allah and his work. Okay, so a person who is successful, reads his Quran, praises Salah in the morning, Fajr, and he gets to work, right? And whatever work that is, and he focuses on work, and then he eats after the work, right? A person who can work all day finds enjoyment in going to the gym, walking or running, and watching the sunset. And this is you only will get happy from the little things and the small things in life when you're not stimulated. So that if you're hyperstimulated, you're not gonna look forward to reading a book, or you're not going to look forward to walking out and getting some air in your brain or in your body, because it's not stimulating enough. But a person who can work all day, again, he has little to none stimulation, so he looks forward to healthy walks and healthy runs and jogs. A person who can work all day has all of his bad habits crossed out, and he replaces all of those bad habits, because when he crosses them out, now he has the extra time. So he replaces all these bad habits with the extra time, and he puts the extra time into work, and he works until he finishes all of his tasks, his most important task. And the more he works, the more success he's going to be getting, and he's actually using that time and energy into work and not like something else, right? Which is very important. And a person who finds enjoyment in reading and learning, so a person who can work all day also finds enjoyment in reading and learning knowledge, and this is where learning the deen comes from. So in order for you to learn the deen and also work at the same time, you need to have like time blocks and stuff, which I'll get into in a second, but you also need to be less stimulated so you can actually look forward to learning. And if that's business books, or more importantly, deen, you need to be less stimulated. So this is why you need to be crossing all of your bad habits. So the key to shifting your current life, which is procrastinating, is to this model that I just gave you. When you have to cut away your current life, cut away this life, and adopt a new lifestyle, and fully, completely. And that is why you have to cut everything out, because you're only going to be going back to them, and you need to adopt a new lifestyle, a new daily routine, a new mindset, a new sort of identity. And This is how I was able to beat procrastination pretty much. I've been working since the morning and I'm still working right now. This means creating a new structured daily routine and going on dopamine detox. Instead of going on a dopamine detox for like a week or two, you're going on a dopamine detox for the rest of your life. And this is the key. This is how I can help you. This is my advice to you, which is change your life completely and do what I'm saying. Because if you don't, then why are you watching this video? You only came to me so you can get help from me. So I'm telling you, this is what you need to be doing. And if you don't do them, you're going to stay the way you are. And you're going to be staying broke. And you're going to be staying unfulfilled. So you need to be doing what I'm telling you, right? And this is what it means to create a structured daily routine. And in order for you to balance the deen and dunya, you need to be having different time blocks for different things. So throughout the day, finish all of your work as long as you want, but also have 2 to 3 hours of learning, especially knowledge and deen. And the more you can get knowledge in the deen, inshallah, by the will of Allah, the more you'll be closer to Him, and the more we can actually maintain our iman levels while becoming successful at the same time. Because there are people that can do that. Right? Now, Ustad Imran ibn Mansour is a great example, and many other people, in his network are like that, right? They have big businesses, but they're also on deen at the same time, and this is exactly what we want. So my routine is consistently working until I get all my tasks done. I read, I learn both ilm and also business knowledge as well. I go to the gym, and of course, living with family means having some family time and also doing some of the tasks for them that they need me to do. And also I have some downtime as well, right? Like, remember, we have a lot of time in the day. So if I'm working 8, 9, 10 hours, I still have a good 6 hours left because I'm awake 16 hours, let's say theoretically, right? Then I still have a good 6 hours left to do, other things, to learn and to do whatever I want. So I still have like 2 hours of downtime. You can fit everything in a day. You have a lot of time. So this is exactly how I was able to beat procrastination. Akhi, this is how you do it. This is how you can stop procrastinating. This is how you can build businesses and work 8, 9, 10 hours a day in order to build success in these businesses, as well as maintain your deen by actually having time blocks to learn Islamic knowledge. And the way you're going to be doing all of this is by de-stimulating your brain and to adopt a brand new lifestyle. You cannot stay the way you are, because if you were someone who's successful, and this, I'll end up with this, if you were someone who's successful, or if you wanted to be someone who's successful, you cannot become successful with the life you're living right now, because you already would have had success. And that's the truth. You cannot be someone who's mediocre and also achieve someone who's successful at the same time. And this could be in your career, or more importantly, this could be in your business. Okay? So you need to be masculine Islamic men. And this is the goal. So hopefully you benefited from this video. Before I end off this video, I do have a Discord you can join for free, where I'll be dropping gems like this, and I'll be dropping Islamic knowledge, not really Islamic knowledge because I'm not a scholar. I mean, I'll be dropping Islamic reminders, but and the things I've learned, but I'll be dropping actual productivity knowledge, how you can work for hours. And one aspect of this is, accountability. You need this. You need accountability. You need to ask questions. You need to talk with people who are already working 8, 9, 10 hours. So if you want to get contact with me or any of the people inside the server that are trying to be as successful as possible as well, join the server. Talk with the people. It's completely for free. I have a free course coming up in there as well that's going to be talking more about productivity and dopamine, etc. It's going to be insane. And join the server, okay? So hopefully benefited. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.